Okay, so we're live now. All right, so kind of a summary from last time. You and Mercy were quite surprised, to say the least, to see each other across the battlefield. And that was after, being awoken up very suddenly by a mysterious voice that you later learned was Arthur. And you were suddenly thrust into this scenario. And all main parties seem to be a little on edge of what's going on.
Maybe an understatement, but I think that's also appropriate, On edge is correct. For sure.
And when we left off, we had the armies. About to clash, and you guys were kind of in the middle. And with that, we can start again. Now, I did hear, I think it was Sidian who said he had something in mind.
Are you saying from last time, or?
Yeah.
I don't remember from last time. This is all happening all at once, though, right? The armies are rushing at each other now.
Yes. But I thought you had said last time that you wanted to do something.
If I did, I don't exactly remember what that was. It's been a week. I do want to check, though, two things, I guess, to start off with. How far are these armies apart right now, distance-wise, as we're picking up?
How far are you guys away from what?
How far are the armies apart? Because we're in the middle right now, but the armies are, still moving, I assume.
Yes, they are about to clash with you guys. Imagine you guys are in the middle of a wall of death in a mosh pit, except they're trying to kill you.
And then the second thing, or another thing that I wanted to check in on, is size. By my estimates, via looking at this, I think Mercy's side is roughly 36, and my side is 20, but that's just from what I can see right now, so that very much could be off.
Sure.
I guess it's more whose is bigger.
Yes.
Yes.
If you're asking for exact numbers, the answer is yes.
Okay, well, I'm not asking for exact numbers. I'm asking whose is bigger. I know that's what she said.
Well, I mean, from Sidian's perspective, he's in the middle of a field, the two armies coming at him, and he is also at ground level with these forces. So I don't think Sidian would be able to really tell. Like both
Okay.
sides seem pretty sizable from
Tell.
your perspective. Yeah.
That's fair. All right. I'm just gonna kind of turn to the other two here, and it's like, so we're all in agreement. This all seems off. We're all working with, and I guess this is happening is armies are charging, but there's a hole in Mercy's side, so I guess there's nobody rushing from that side.
And as you try and talk about this,
Okay.
the bottom of the floor kind of opens up, kind of like two, you could say trapdoors, but it's the entire field. Okay. And then suddenly, one second here. One second.
Situation has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's about to change. More accurately.
And suddenly you are dropped back, sitting on the round couch again.
Oh. What?
And in the middle here, where that opening would be, you see Arthur, seeming very much in the flesh, just sitting there sipping some tea. Almost looks like he's waiting for you.
Is like the couch closed, like you said in the opening? Is he like just sitting on the air or something like that?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I don't know if you heard me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
You
gonna
said like
ask him,
sipping on tea?
what are we doing
Sorry.
back here?
Or takes a nice little sip. As he sets it down, the tea disappears, and he just looks at him. So, what did you think?
I think it's completely
Have some
barbarous that you would pit us against each other and expect us to fight like that. Flesh and
there's some
blood.
point to all this? Have
He
some
kind of puts up.
grand moral?
He kind of puts up his hand. So you don't like my game?
No, absolutely not. What's the point of it?
Not especially.
Well, you guys have a really good. It's not because I like messing with you, though. To say that wouldn't be a cherry on top of this situation would be a lie. But I like your question. He looks at Mercy. I like your question because you're focusing on why I'm trying to do this. I really like that. Points at Sidian. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Oh, I don't know what the hell you're doing either, dumbass. Is there a point to this? Are we supposed to? is the moral of the story that siblings need to fight more? Is this some kind of tactical simulator that you cooked up? I don't know. Just don't know the purpose of all this. Why you decided to pull us out there of all times.
Mercis is going to like raise his hand at the background and just ask, is there any way I could get some tea? That looks pretty good.
He will very nonchalantly wave his hand, and a very nice cup of tea is presented in front of you.
Sid pinches his brow.
He takes a sip, he smiles, said that's good stuff, and then immediately pulls out his flasks and just adds a few gulps of that in there too.
That tracks. It's definitely him.
Arthur puts up his hand, almost like trying to present Mercis as an example. He's like, this and your sister's attitude, I really like this. You guys are really immersing yourself here. And he looks straight on at Sidian and says, you are still trying to figure out how to set off my trap or see what I've got up my sleeve. And he moves in very close, and he moves in really close and says, you're already trapped. That part's over. You have nowhere to go. You have nowhere to be. The only thing to do is to play the game. And the only way to play the game is to play your roles.
I mean, whatever roles you've set up for us, not what we would really do. We wouldn't be fighting each other like this.
Cooked up role, and why are you doing all of this? I just state the one question at the very least, if you're gonna try and force us into this.
Mercy's just gonna step right up to Arthur, and with just a steely gaze, she's gonna ask, do you have any siblings, Arthur?
He stares very nonchalantly, almost in a daze. You ever seen Pedro Pascal's meme?
Yes.
Like that. Like that. Just staring at her and says, of course not. But if I did, I certainly would have done worse to them.
And you can never understand the affection, nor the depth of loyalty that despite arguments, misunderstandings, that two siblings raised in love have for each other.
Sid standing behind her. Sorry. Sid standing behind Mercy is rolling his eyes, like a big roll of his eyes.
Oh, dig it!
Not in a cute way. Wait, maybe a little.
Dude, I'm trying to have a moment here.
You think he's standing behind you proudly? You just imagine in your mind, and he's just rolling his eyes.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes. Anyway, again, why? For the hell of it?
Well,
you want to show?
I do want to teach you something, to show you something you're missing, you're seeing. But telling someone what they're doing wrong, I mean, you're never going to listen. He looks at Mercis, and then he looks very, very, very intently at Mercy and says, are you? Some of us are way more stubborn-headed than others. So why not learn through a game? Games teach us so much, so many things. Not to mention it is fun seeing you guys face, these different odds after saying, and I quote, and almost like in a hologram in midair, it's Sidian saying, we're willing to do anything to kill pride. And then he looks back at him. Isn't that right?
I meant as long as... I'm not even going to try to explain this.
He gets in. He starts laughing as he says, don't try to explain this. If you haven't gotten it already, we're in your head. We're in our head. We're all seeing all the cards on the table. And almost in a smirk-like laughter, looking at Mers as he says, we have nowhere to hide.
All right. So what, you want us to face off against each other, throw our armies at one another? You've proven that pain exists here, perceived at least. So do you want us to hurt each other? Is that what this is about?
You greatly
And he said,
underestimate my patience. I can just sit here and wait, and I won't put up with your game.
he looks almost defeated as he says, you guys really don't get it. I am
No.
not fighting you. I am not fighting you. I am here just as a spectator. Tell you what, it sounds like you guys need context. Is that what it is? Do you guys need context? I mean, it's not really that important, but is that what you guys are asking for?
Would at least be helpful.
Would.
If we're supposed to be playing these roles.
All right, tell you what. We'll run with it. But should you fail, should you not get your lesson, I really don't know how long you might be here. And more importantly, if anyone continues trying to escape, the consequences will be well, let's not think about them for now.
You're a jackass, you know that?
Yes. And then he snaps his fingers, and once again, everyone goes to black.
Again, out of game, I do get it, and I get the point of the scene, and I like it. But in game, Sid is, upset. I think we all are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see how this goes.
So, and what would have seemed like, it would have seemed in an instant. Okay, so the next events will probably they'll probably be happening at the same time, but we're going to start from the top here. And to make it easier on me, can you guys roll a d20 so we see which order we're going to go in?
Yes, sir.
If you want Merz's reaction, I don't know if you guys were like in front of him so you didn't see, but as soon as he was like pointed out specifically, something about pass and can't run from them, that was essentially it in the game commentary.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
My dice, you'd have to see it to believe it, but it spun so dramatically in the little doorway of my dice tower, all to reveal a 1.
I got a 3.
So what did you get? I'm sorry, what was that? Mercy?
Oh, it was a 1 + 2 in initiative, but if it's just you,
Well,
just want to straight roll 1.
No, that's fine. You can put initiative.
Oh,
I'll let everyone put initiative.
10 then.
Okay. Merz's?
So I rolled it. I don't know if I want this to happen now. As soon as you said it like that, I knew it was going to be bad. I used Kimmy's dice and I rolled a 19 on the die, plus 5, 24.
I mean, don't worry. Don't worry. Worry a little. So
Worry.
for now, since you weren't here last time, well, let's do it since we're doing it that way. Give me 1 second.
It's like, I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. Just going to shoot him.
Damn. Okay, I forgot to put the picture again because I found an encampment picture. Fuck.
Hey,
Okay.
it's all good.
Okay. So, but you're once again in the field. Okay. This time though, this is like a day or two before the battle. Things are getting set up, right? For defense. The camps are barely going up. People are still pretty nervous. There's still that heaviness in the air, and you see the same sort of image in the distance. You know, the hot, fiery hell that is approaching. You are essentially surrounded by a whole bunch of regular citizens running around, and Mel walks by you. And that's where we're setting you up right now.
All right.
Okay, and do we remember like the previous stream, like or simulation, as it were, or is this a fresh start?
No, you remember the previous thing. This is a rewind, if you will. But you do remember what happened before you were in the field, all that noise, right? And you remember the conversation that we had in the couch room, as we're now calling.
Is this both of us or just him?
For now, it's just him.
Okay.
Okay, couple days, but we see like the army, ours is here doing its thing, but theirs is over there doing their own thing as well, right?
Sorry, I missed that. What was that?
Okay, so we're a few days out from like the actual battle. Like, do we still have traveling to do, or is this where we're gonna set up our like final assault?
Like traveling from Sutton City.
Yeah, like is this the last stop before we get to the last battle, or are we at the last battle and we're setting up the last, fortifications and such?
You know what? That's a great question. I forgot you weren't here last time for that. The battle is actually just a couple miles outside of Sutton. It's like you're fortifying it, getting ready for the last stand sort of deal. So if you were traveling, it's not too far. You can get there within a matter of 30, 45 minutes. But that is where you would set up camp, and then you would essentially further down, much further down, that's where we had the last, that's where we had the battle in the field previously. But that's the setting. You're actually just a couple miles outside of Sutton right now.
Now, this is a dumb idea, as I was literally warned against doing this, although it's not in the way I would think. So, no, I rolled for it. It's what I do. Shit. I'm going to try and sneak out of camp and just try to go over to where the other side is and see if I can find, at a distance, not trying to infiltrate the camp itself yet, see if I can get a glimpse of the opposing commander. And see if it is, in fact, Mercy, or maybe it's swapped up this time and she's just a foot soldier, I don't know.
Okay. You said
We'll
you're
be
sneaking
casting
out.
greater invisibility, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Smart.
Not going out in plain, clearly see me leaving and going, so, any good, archers, rangers over there, free shot right here.
Okay. 1 second here.
Oh, I will quickly check up on my companion. Is he with me, or did I leave him at...
Do you want him to be with you? Because that's why I had asked in the beginning, do you want him to be an active character, or is he just going to be in the background?
Oh, no, he'll be an active character, just, chilling with me, but I might send him to do stuff.
Okay. You'll see him, probably only you, with his description. You know, looking um almost jet black. If he's pretty dark, if it wasn't for the fact that there was fires, he'd almost stick out in the night sky with how black he is. It's almost like a lack of something just flying around. But you were able to easily spot him.
All right, I'm telling him to essentially keep in the skies, and you know, if need be, he can dive bomb me and help me get out of there. Now he's staying up here.
And even though you are, if you will, invisible, and you still roll me a stealth because even though it is nighttime, you still have people talking, fires going. It's not like everyone's just asleep.
That's a 31.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that you once you disappear, it seems like you were almost never there. No trace of you, and you're easily able to maneuver out of the camp and start making your way towards what can only be described as a literal hell.
All right, I start looking around and trying to see if I can find where I'm assuming leader is going to be, which is usually like the bigger tents, the one in charge, that kind of aesthetic.
Sorry, I'm sorry. You said you're getting closer, correct?
Slowly, yeah. Once I get in, where I can start making out different people. Not trying to enter yet, but yeah, getting close.
Trying to see how far you can see. Give me 1 second. Here. I would say about 200, maybe a little bit less than 200 feet, or yeah, about 200 to 300 feet away. You kind of see almost like an intenser amount of glowing. There's glowing from the surrounding heat, the different structures, and these structures look very, very strange as well. Um, let's see here. Actually, roll me an insight.
Yeah, 21.
Okay, all right. So you would be maybe. It seems strange to you, but it's almost as if these images of another life fill your head, and you could tell that these structures. It's almost like an entire moving city. war machine, if you will. And from your angle, if you will, you could see it ever so slowly inching its way across the land. And
Marcy, where did you find a moving city?
I
and
don't
like I said,
know.
it seems strange because this doesn't seem like textbook knowledge. It seems more like memories. Like maybe you've been through this before.
Like, how familiar?
They are machines of war. You're quite familiar with this. I mean, well, you're familiar enough to know what they look like up close.
Like, I've had to fight against or with familiar?
From the memory, it almost looks like you're fighting. Well, you're definitely not on their side, but you're helping those in front of it and around it. Like to
Okay.
say you were actively going up to it and trying to like destroy it, no, but you're helping those around it.
Yeah, help some people out the way maybe, or set up some traps before moving.
Um, like I said, from your angle, you see it moving or inching closer. Do you? It's about, I would say, let's say about like a foot higher than the actual ground. And then after that, I really wish I had the picture. I'm sorry, guys. After that, there would be a gate, and then almost looks like a gated community with pretty tall walls. I would say anywhere from 45 to 50 feet tall.
Like, these walls are made of like bars, bricks. Like, what are we talking?
It
Like,
looks like black steel.
like steel bars, like just super tall, or is it like a brick wall, or
Oh no, and the structure looks like when I say looks like it's made of a metal, a dark metal. And it's not crudely built. It's quite sophisticated, very sleek. And like it looks very much impenetrable, if not dominating.
and because I have to, I need to go up and touch it. But I'm going to cast just quick detect magic before I do.
One moment, Tito. You said you were choosing to touch that. Is he doing that actively right now?
Hit detect magic first, then I was going to touch it because I wanted to, but I remembered I probably shouldn't without at least trying to check if it was safe. So check detect magic first, and then probably.
Okay. 1 second. So I would. You don't feel. This feels a little familiar in that it's almost when you're trying to use or detect magic. There's very much a lot of psychic energy around. A lot. But if you focus in close on say a particular spot on the wall, you notice it's almost it's moving by machinery. Like you can see that from like if you look down under the what almost looks like a city, but it's almost like the entire city is under an enchantment.
Well, this just makes it tougher. Doesn't mean I can't or I won't do it.
Are you still invisible?
Unless it's been, let me double check. So I think
I
it should
think
be an
greater
hour or more.
invisibility lasts an hour. I think greater invisibility only lasts a minute.
Because like I said, it would have
Maybe
taken you
10
some time
minutes.
to. It would have taken you some time to walk over there to the actual city. I would say
Okay,
it would have
so
taken
if
you about anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, it's not like they're right up there. They would have killed you already.
right. Okay, then knowing that ahead of time, I go back and say I use just normal invisibility to get there.
Sorry, yeah, and I should have specified that. That was not my fault.
Yeah. I thought that would have been like a lot closer, but yeah, no,
Oh
normal
yeah, and I should
invisibility
have.
to get there.
Yeah, I do apologize. That's my fault. I should have. Said that.
No, yeah, I should have asked too. Yeah, I'm there. Assuming it takes 45 to an hour, so my invisibility is about to run out, and I'm about to risk it all to try and stealth my way until hopefully I find. This could very well be where I just bite it, and you guys can carry on from here.
I don't know if you die permanently either, even in
Well,
the
I'm
dream.
assuming
Maybe.
I get transported back to the couch dimension, and I just watch you guys go at this with one of me. Like I'm dead now, and you
Turn
guys can
into
both
spectator
assume
mode.
this is because I was like I go spectator. You guys can just assume. Okay, so he just hits then. Got him killed this time.
Maybe.
I really want to go check if this is really Mercy. I've got a few theories, and I need to go and test one out. But yeah, once that wears off, I'm going to try and just stealth my way as best I can, and I'm going to try and climb this fence. Or wait, how big were like the gaps and bars between this thing? Like, can I potentially try and slide through, or is it like super close?
I would say they're like imagine the bars on the outside of a window, so pretty close through.
Like what kind of window? Like a jail cell, or like the kind people put out front in their
So
windows to keep them from breaking?
like the kind that people keep from people breaking in, keep people from breaking in. There you go.
Okay,
Before
so
you do that, because you said your invisibility just ran out.
indeed, though I hoped my stealth would help me, like not being a crowded place or anything.
Roll me a stealth check, please.
Yes, sir. That would be a 28.
Just. Okay. So there, as you're thinking or going through a plan to get in through these bars, suddenly you see on the very top of the wall, where it looks like a column would be. It almost looks like part of the structure comes alive and a sentry comes out, similar to the same sentries or soldiers that you saw on Mercy's side. Two of them, in fact. But it does seem that you managed to catch them right before they saw you and quickly were able to hide once again in the shadows.
All right. So I'm going to continue with my like wanting to sneak in if we want to jump over to the other guys while I do this, because this is going to be it for me until I can try either find Mercy, get caught, or that's pretty much it.
Oh, I was actually going to go to, I think the next in line is Sidian. Okay.
All right.
I hope he doesn't
Sidian?
try and find me to talk about this, and I just left.
And he's
Sidian?
gone. That tracks. Yes.
Sidian, actually, give me 1 second.
By the way, as a side note, I see just a black screen on the Anvil page. Not World Anvil, on the Forge page. That's the one. Hmm. I'm assuming you're getting stuff ready, but on the off chance you are talking, you are muted.
Oh, no, yes.
Okay.
Sidian,
Ah.
you, unlike the others, wake up suddenly, once again, couple days, let's say 2 days also. Same day as Mercedes, but you wake up in Sutton Outpost. From your angle right now, I know it doesn't seem like it on the map, but you see that it is very different. Instead of the stables and the very quaint sort of looking outpost, it seems to have sprung into a much bigger city. You see the different influences from various members of the team, and in front of you, almost nostalgic like, you see, well, you knew him as the captain from Sutton Outpost, but he is now one of the generals as well. And so he's also there waiting. Looks like several maps laid down on these tables, as well as different figures, looks like battle plans. And most of the people in the city have either left to go help, pretty empty, or have just left altogether and gave up hope.
Tried to escape.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they can.
The scene starts off, and he looks like I said, he's staring down at all these maps, and just looking very stern and solemn.
I assume when Sid wakes up, he's not like on the ground. He's like standing up. He's just kind of coming to.
Oh, well, yes. Well, if you will, he snapped his fingers and all of a sudden you popped here.
Okay. Uh, is there anybody else at this table, or is it just the captain at the moment? Angus.
At the moment, it is just him.
All right. Sid, I think, pauses for a moment and kind of like takes a deep breath and kind of like looks up into the sky. It's like, ah, fucking hell. All right, I guess let's do this. And he's gonna approach the table and kind of also lean over and kind of examine these maps.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one thing I forgot to mention. Right here, I don't know if you can see where I'm clicking on the map. Right
Yeah,
here.
I see. Where you,
Okay. There is. Well, there looks to be quite a crater, a circle, if you will. And everyone kind of tries to go around it, avoid it. And there's definitely blood staining the stone. But no one has attempted to clean it.
Hmm.
Right. I forgot about that.
Okay. Does it look like a siege weapon, like something catapulted this, or is this like a cannon, or can I tell like what this was from?
City, let me see. Roll me also an insight check.
All right. Insight check on this is interesting. Natural 20. Plus absolutely nothing.
Well, it's almost like the very instant you thought or looked at this, it's like a seed sprouted in your mind, full of memories and emotions. And once again, it feels like it's happened. Does not feel like something you've read. This feels like something you lived. And in the middle there, you remember a great, great struggle between good and evil. And you remember losing someone. You remember losing a part of the team. You remember why Centurion is not there.
Hmm.
You remember he was thrust through the heart. The immense force cracked the ground. You remember you have not been the same since. But it's almost like you're trying to block out who did this.
Who did this? Sid is gonna grimace at that, and yeah, he'll turn and kind of go over to the captain. All right, what's the game plan?
He looks at you and says, I know I catch myself staring at it, but I figure it's a daily reminder of why we're fighting. And he gets back to the plans and says, right now, from what we're seeing, this is going to be an uphill battle. We're ill-equipped, ill-armed, and compared to the army that we're about to face, I would say we have little experience left. That you see on the map a picture of, let me see if I can find it. A picture, I'll put it up in general, of the sentries, the ones that you saw on the field as well. They look very similar, almost like they had your engineering flair or design somewhere in there.
He's going to kind of point that out and says, let me actually roll to see if how he's going to approach this. Okay, yeah. So he's just kind of like cross his arms and like point and then at the picture and then kind of recross his arms and go, so what's the story with these things? Remind me.
He looks at you a little dumbfounded.
Gotcha.
And he's like, are you okay?
I'm haven't been getting enough sleep lately and just want to refresh my memory.
I understand. Especially with the enemy we're facing, I can't imagine this would be easy for any of us.
Yeah. It's a hell of a time to be living in.
He looks at you and says, well, this army, unlike ours, grows and feels. This army was built and they removed all semblance of humanity, of any kind of feeling. They are the perfect killing machine. And he looks at you almost with a little bit of hate and says, and you're the one that invented it.
Shame it fell into the wrong hands then.
He slams his fist down and says, this is why you don't fuck with life. Sorry, mess with life. This, you gave it life, you gave it consciousness, and then we're surprised when it chose. We didn't hand anything over. The thing volunteered, the thing left willingly. You
Onyx
never
wasn't
should have built.
made to act like that. It's supposed to help humanity, not hunt it.
And he looks at you and says, oh, and I suppose your sister was made to be on that side.
On that side, this is maybe out of game, but on that side, is he referring to the like? Is he like gesturing to the oncoming hellscape?
Yes, but he's gesturing on the map, the enemy
Okay.
side. He's like, she wasn't made for that.
Not the
A literal
sister I know.
god, a literal god chose her. So forgive me if I don't have much faith in your invention, in your intentions.
Sid is gritting his teeth at the moment. It's done is done, I suppose. How are we going to win this thing?
It's like, well, right now we just have people that we're gonna send into the meat grinder, essentially. He points at your arm, which has the sword sheathed, and says, you're supposed to be the one paving the way. We're just going to hold off everyone else as long as we can until you take care of her. They only listen to her.
Yeah, he kind of like looks down at his arm now, kind of forgetting that it had returned back in there, and kind of stares at it for a moment. And then this thing will end. Kind of
He sighs.
after there.
He does sigh and says, no. No. After that, he looks down and we still have pride. He kind of walks past you, looking out towards the gate, looking at the hellscape slowly encroaching. He says, "We know he's there. We know he could just wipe us out. We don't know why he's hiding."
This is out of game, but
Go ahead.
I was asking, is Pride now he?
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Well, biding time is what the Sins have been loving to do.
This isn't a mere sin. This is the sin. I mean, it took the best of us to turn them against us.
It's what it loves to do, I suppose. Corrupt.
He gets in close once again and asks you, almost in a respectful manner, to walk with him for a bit. And you realize that you're kind of just walking around the perimeter of this huge crater right here in the middle of town.
Hmm.
Okay. And he says, I know all of us have lost a lot. And essentially, the battle plan here is defend you until you can do what needs to be done. But, and he stops abruptly, you can't freeze again.
I'll make sure what needs to be done gets done.
Well, you better. Because last time, it cost us. It cost us someone. It cost us so many things.
So many lives.
I know you care about her. I know what she means to you, but she is not that. She decided that day what she was going to be. And you couldn't do it.
It's not easy. It's not what should happen. Should have happened. Something that I should have made sure to avoid.
He walks up to you and hands you a scroll or a letter, piece of parchment, and says, I found this in her things. And it only seems fitting that I give it to you now. And he walks away.
From her?
Yeah, it's from her.
No, I didn't hear you ask then. Okay, gotcha.
If you are you going to open it or just keep it clutched?
Let me roll real quick. Okay, let me roll again because that was a flat out 10 and I want something a bit more decisive than that. Okay, I think Sid is just going to kind of clutch this, and I think he's going to, after a moment, just kind of grip it tighter, and then he's going to, not while Angus is looking, but he's just going to kind of stuff it in his bag or his pocket or whatever he has, tuck it away. I think he's thinking he doesn't really want to see this right now, given the circumstances, both in the in-game role play and out of the in-game role play.
Sorry, I said okay.
Okay,
Um,
but he's definitely going to hold on to it.
mhm. As he walks away, you do notice Mel running back into the city. And she looks at you and she just says, "Are you ready to go?"
I'm assuming it's like before, like the light has left her eyes.
Yeah. And
No time like the present.
yeah, she looks at you very solemnly, and it looks like she's holding back tears once again at that spot.
Yeah, as we're about to leave, Sid will kind of look back at that and kind of re-examine the memory in his head. I am assuming that in this memory, it's Mercy that pierced his heart.
Roll me a history.
All right. Uh, 25.
Oh, I mean plus 17, like my guy. So
Yeah, plus 17. Rolled an 8.
all right. Oh, you rolled an 8. Okay. All right. Goddamn. All right. All right. So yes, it was in fact Mercy, the one that pierced, the one that killed Centurion. Centurion, from that memory, you can see a little bit more vividly. He doesn't look the same. He looks a little bit more unwell, unkept. There was still a semblance of a Centurion, but he was a little bit more, almost looks savage.
Interesting. Was he
And
burned like before, or had he recovered?
no, he didn't look burned. But he did look more like a hare instead of a rabbit. Does that make
What?
sense? More,
Yeah,
yeah, more coarse hair.
primal.
Mhm. And more importantly, um, it did look like there were dark splotches on him, like what you had seen in the first season when he kind of went big spooky.
All
Okay,
right.
but more importantly, the he's standing in front of someone.
Am I able to make out who that is?
It's Mel,
Hmm.
but Mel looks also different. I'm only telling this because that's you. I mean, your history is ridiculously high.
It is ridiculously high.
Um,
Maxed out intelligence and expertise at level 20.
you can tell that she's listened to you about magic. She looks much more adept to it, but
Hmm.
you don't know why she looks a little out of control, a little not good. The dangers of messing with magic, if you will.
Doesn't always go the way you want it to.
And from what you can see, it looks like he's getting in the way.
In the way of Mel as well as Mercy?
Yes. So if you were looking at it, third person here, you have Mercy coming down, or this Mercy coming down with a strike. Centurion in front of it, trying to defend it. And behind him is Mel, losing control.
Hmm. Does it look like something's coming out from Mel? Or just like,
Uh, losing control.
all right.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you see it almost like it's seared into your memory, like you're trying to run towards it to stop it, but it inevitably happens.
Possible to stop. I think coming back to the present as Sid and Mel are beginning to make their way out of the city, he's just kind of I'm sorry for everything that's happened.
You can see, because she's moving in front of you a little bit, she's clenching her fists, but in a very monotone so voice says, "It's done. What's done is done."
Sid wants to say something, but he doesn't know what to say. He's internally both again caught. He's kind of got caught up in this again, and is still very frustrated at Arthur for showing all of this stuff that he's hoping to avoid.
And while you guys are going through that, Mercy,
Mm-hmm.
see, 1 second here. Mercy, you
Yes.
wake up and you see, once again, you are standing in front of this glorious looking cathedral. The adornments, several religious symbols, and beautiful landscape scenery. Around you, it's still loud, but not quite as loud. People will look like people, and your paladins are look like they're getting ready, fitting themselves and starting to line up in formations. You don't see any encampments though. It's almost like everyone's just getting ready. And once again, you feel his presence. You feel Father Amar, kind of like you almost like you feel him staring at you from the entranceway. Okay.
Crap.
It's not a bad feeling. It's a warmth. It's almost an inviting feeling. It feels comfortable. It
Of
feels
course, it's a
right.
seductive warmth, but it ain't him.
Saying seductive warmth with that character
Yeah,
in mind
as soon
is
as I said it, I realized it's the
I
wrong
was like,
word.
okay, so this is the evil Mercy. I got a shot now.
Oh my god. Oh my.
no.
As in, it's wrong. It's wrong. That's what I mean.
Okay, you're saying this, but remember, we're inside your head.
Right, but I have memories of the couch room, right?
Oedipus complex.
Yes, you do. In
Wait,
same context, you remember the events before when you were in the field, you were about to
Mm-hmm.
fight. You remember everything leading up to now. And like I said, for you, from your perspective, he snapped his fingers, and in an instant, you're in this setting. However,
Yeah.
and I'll put it in general as well. See here. Just because it did kind of confuse everyone last time. 1 second here. You look down and you see you're ready in this battle armor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. And that is where we're setting you up.
All right. I can't see the map, by the way. It's just a black screen. If I am supposed to see a map.
Let me see if I can fix that.
Okay. I should be getting ready to move my paladins out into battle.
Paladins, air quotes. Granted, again, probably both of our illusions are just as real as the others in this mindscape.
Mhm.
I mean, my current theory right now is that like they're exactly what we see, and the illusion is just the opposite side, and that's what Pride's doing. We just won't admit that either one of us is wrong, and that's just what's going to keep us making us fight.
Could be it. We don't know.
Oh, can you try and refresh?
Yep, there it is. I can see it now.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna be doing my best with descriptions. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
As you step into the cathedral, it's a marbled beauty, something that can only be described as, truly monolithic. Okay, stained
Yeah.
glass windows everywhere, and once again, Father Amar is there. Looks like he's near the front where you would have a pew if this was open to the public.
Mhm. Does it look like he's praying or what's he doing?
He's just looking at you. Looks like he's waiting for you.
Then I'll go ahead and
Acting all
approach.
seductive and praying.
Forgive me, Daddy, for I have sinned.
Oh gosh, no.
I'm
Very
sorry,
different
Murphy. You're never
connotation.
going to live that down. You're never going to live it down.
Yeah.
Anyways, he does see you. He's waiting for you.
Mhm. I'll come to him.
He opens up his hand almost in an inviting embrace.
Mhm.
Says, "Come," and you hug him.
Mhm.
Can you roll a perception check for me?
Absolutely. Perception. 16.
That's with your modifier, right?
Yep.
Okay. His embrace feels, it feels familiar. It
Mhm.
feels like Father Amor. It feels like he's been with you through thick and thin. It feels like home. And he looks down at you and says, "You look troubled. You look like your mind is elsewhere."
Father Imar, this doesn't seem. This isn't real. It hurts to say that seeing your face isn't real.
He gently holds your hand and squeezes it, and it feels real.
Oh.
But when the light shines in, you do see he's slightly translucent.
Mhm.
That and it's almost like he knows what you're thinking, and he says, "That does not mean I am not still here with you." And squeezes a little bit harder.
But this is all some illusion. I know it is. Tell me, Father, what would you have me do here now with these paladins?
You were only a child when I first held you, he says. A baby.
Yes.
I still remember seeing you and your brother on our doorstep, and the circumstances that may have led there. Though they were dire, we remained true and accepted you. And you, in turn, from what I've seen, have been eternally grateful ever since.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
She's just saying I have.
He gives a sigh as he goes back and looks like he's walking up to, like I said, what would be the pew. He opens up a book and says, as he's looking down, "Your brother, however, I cannot say the same.
I know you wouldn't.
I'm sorry?
She says, I know you wouldn't. Sorry, I should speak up.
No, you're good." He gestures to the seat next to him.
She'll take it.
"I understand it's worrisome. No, no, none of God's creatures should be. None of God's creatures should be put against each other, but we all have our trials and tribulations. We do not know the plan that we have in the future. We just have to work with the hand we're dealt. And in this case, we were dealt a cruel hand."
Indeed.
Can you roll me an insight check, please?
Absolutely. Okay, that's a 28.
Excellent. Once again, um, your mind is filled with images and memories. Maybe it's because of the nostalgic moment, but it's filled with memories of you and Sidian and the church. But instead of, Mother Bassina was there, but instead of her being the active part of your life, you see, it was Father Amor more so. He is much more than just a father in the religious sense. He feels like a father in the real sense, in
Hmm.
as real a sense of the word as you can feel. And you see memories of him reading scripture, lessons you've had with him, as well as the times you've had to defend your brother from him, and other times you've had to scold your brother because of him.
Hmm.
He sees you, looks like, I guess he sees you wondering, if you will, your eyes wondering, and says, "You know, if you are not ready, I could help."
Wow.
You did what had to be done before. You stopped the threat or attempted to do so. You see things as they should be. A just world should have swift justice. And those who believe that should follow our cause. You try to eliminate that. And your own teammates got in the way. Your own brother. I pray that you have the strength to do what you have to, as he's shown his true side to you.
I don't know if you realize what a simulation this all is.
Ironically, now
According
citizen.
to,
Sorry.
according to all of this, I must fight my brother. And even according to you, difficult as it may be, difficult as it is,
He looks down and says, a little confused and says, I do not know what you mean by simulation. It sounds like something your brother would say.
Heh.
no, Father Imar. This has been conjured by someone else. Someone who wants me to see what he wants me to see. So I will follow through and see what happens in this.
Do you not
I
remember,
do
he
not
said,
believe it. Huh?
do you not remember the pain that you had to go through? The pain that they put you through?
Who put me through?
With that, once again, images fill your head, and you can, going off the previous roll, you can tell this isn't a trick. This is a memory. A memory. This isn't something conjured in front of you. This is a memory of what feels like a past event. And you see this, but everyone around you just running around yelling. You don't understand why, but as you look at the epicenter, you see Mel and what can only be seen or look like an enormous amount of dark or evil energy around her. She seemed a little out of control.
Why Mel?
And
Sorry, continue.
he hears you and he places a hand on your forehead, and with that, it's almost like it unlocks the rest of the memory. And actually, can you roll? Can you roll a history check for me, please?
Absolutely. All right, that's a 16 plus 2, 18.
What you can see, you're holding your weapon, You see this energy lashing out around you. You see Mel, her energy, her magic, her aura is out of control, and you know this is your brother's fault. He's been teaching her magic way too strong for someone like her. For someone like her. And you know you have to put a stop to this before it's too late.
Like her, what is she?
All you see is Centurion. He starts turning into this primal, almost like looks like a primal evil. And you do not know if he's with you. All you know is that he looks evil and he is defending another evil. And as swiftly as you can, you attempt to pierce Mel, but he gets in the way. And there's just screaming in the background, and soon you realize the screaming is coming from your brother in the distance.
Oh,
And
Mm.
it almost looks like he raises an arm, a sword, he raises a fist to you. And the memory ends that you're back now with Father Amar attempting to console you, attempting to ease you.
oh. Just don't understand why or what. If she is evil, I will face her.
Yes, but when the time came, the evil that had overtaken all these people had overtaken her. The evil that your brother had taught her. You still couldn't. You still couldn't stand up to him. You left for a better purpose. For this one.
And what is that purpose now? To end my brother?
And those that seek to harbor the evils that we are currently fighting, the evils that have brought us to this moment. I do not ask you to do this by yourself. You have all of us behind you. But if you need to, I can be there with you. You need only ask.
Then be with me, Father. But do not ask me to kill my brother. I will fight his army. Will do anything but kill him.
And I will be with you. And he opens his arm for another embrace. Do you walk in?
She has a face of obvious reluctance, but the longing in her heart is just so strong, so palpable, that she'll fall into this illusion of an embrace.
Can you roll me a wisdom check, please?
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Did you say 2?
No, I said I was chitching, whatever. 14.
As you embrace him, once again, this warm feeling envelops you. And it's almost as if Father Amar, as he embraces you and you embrace each other, it's almost as if his spirit is absorbed into you, into your body, into your armor. he seeps into you and is this overwhelming feeling of comfort. And while you're doing that, 1 second here. One second. Actually, you know what, Mercy, just to be safe, because I can't remember. Can you roll me a con save, not check?
Oh, what do you put? A con save?
Yes.
Okay. Sure thing. Well, that's an 11.
Okay. All right. Just making sure that you still have that happen to you. And
Mhm.
the spirit, you know, as Father Amar, is now a part of you, and he is with you always.
Ooh. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. We'll see what happens.
All right, starting from the top once again.
Yeah.
Right. And we're starting up again with Merzis. Merzis, I will. Are you on? Are you on the line?
Am I on the what?
Are you on the? Are you on the wall?
Assuming that's where I was hiding while I was trying to sneak in.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, there's where I'm at, and I'm trying to sneak in. This time, instead of going invisible, though, I'll just go past without a trace because something tells me there got some see invisible people here.
Yeah. 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 1 second here. Once you are, sorry, that was the wrong person. Give me 1 second here. Merzis, are you there? Can you see?
Yes, but if you're going for the computer, I'm still mine's not loading.
Yeah, you may need to refresh. But once you get in over the wall, start at sneak past the guards, you do get to almost a town square looking part of the city, and in front of it you see this what can only be described as a evil looking cathedral.
Okay.
Are you able to see, or should I?
Not yet, but I'm just.
Okay. 1 second. Let me see if I can put it in general too.
Refreshing one more time. I don't know if it's just because I'm still on my other one.
1 second. I just put in general what he would be seeing.
Which I don't know if you are meaning this, but that's in the. You've been posting stuff in the Hangout, just so you know.
Oh, have I?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's fine.
I'm sorry. Sorry if I'm doing a horrible job, guys.
You're fine.
It's fine.
Lots of things to juggle. Being a DM, so you're good.
But yes, that is what you would see once you get to this inner part of the city. This evil-looking Indiana Jones type church, evil church.
Okay, that looks badass. I wish you could see this on the theater, but mine's being very slow.
But I would say, like, you're from the direction you were coming in from, you'd probably be coming in from the like bottom left-hand corner, if that helps.
Cool.
Do you choose
Alright.
to do anything else?
If I can just look around, does it look like there's anyone here, like any monks or knights walking around that I need to try and avoid?
No, but it almost looks like if, almost as if, it almost seems as if on cue, the few guards that would be here, like they're not even, they just went inside.
Damn it, that's not like a setup or anything. I'm sure it's just a coffee break.
You do notice the lights flickering. You can definitely tell the lights are flickering because this isn't a flame. This is you can only describe it as lightning in a bottle. All right, and as you step forward, or I'm not sure if you are stepping forward because you said you're looking around. As you do step forward, you notice that it's not really the lights that are flickering. Can you roll me a perception check?
Okay. Oh wait, this is a dark cathedral, right?
Yes.
25.
Bless you.
Oh, my earballs.
Bless you. I'm sorry that sneeze so hard it hurt your ears.
Earballs.
Um, you notice that it's not the lights that are flickering, it's the shadows.
Oh, that puts me on very much edge.
Glitch in the Matrix.
No, that just means like there's someone who can, you know how like there's a dimmer switch for light? Someone's got the dimmer switch for the shadows and they're fucking with it.
Yeah.
You see the shadows, they're moving. And you could swear you saw one of the shadows along the wall on the left side of the stairs. You could have sworn you saw one of the shadows, just a very humanoid form, get up and run up the stairs.
Okay. Don't let yourself get distracted. I'm rolling this. Rolling a d4 to see how I let this distract me or not. That's a 4. Just focus on what I'm here for, and I'm going to cast locate object, and I'm going to try and locate Mercy's sword because I'm assuming that's what she's still rolling with. But I could be wrong.
Mhm.
One second here. You know what? Because I had to actually look at this. Jesus, man. All right, you do feel it. You definitely feel it. Not here though.
We might be in like
Uh,
different versions of the same map, and like we're just not able to
Oh no,
access
like
each other
you
right
you
now.
you feel the sword. You definitely feel the sword, but it's not here. It feels distant. It feels like it's back in the direction you came from.
Swear this is all for nothing. And I'm just following instincts and just trusting the magic this time. Even though I swear I'm about to if I'm about to leave a room, I could leave. I swear. I'm following the direction that this spell is pointing me in.
Uh, you start heading towards the exit of the city, and
There's a quick moment where he looks like he wants to pull out his hair and just goes. And he follows out the city, I guess, trying to sneak out.
Arthur trying to get you back on track, and he just like spawned in
I
a version
I
of
have
the
no
sword.
idea. Like he just put in it's here and then it's gone. I was like, oh, you dude.
as you're walking, because you see these lampposts, and the lampposts they have all the slight shadow going at a 45-degree angle in towards the east. So you're walking into the shadows, walking down, and you see the shadows. And as you're walking, suddenly you hit a wall. You look
Like,
around and you can't.
did I did I think it should be not a wall and it just appeared, or is it just a straight up wall?
Let's see here. Can you roll me perception once again? Actually, 1 second. Sorry. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Can you roll me perception?
That's a 31.
And you notice maybe it's instinctual, definitely instinctual with how much you like to use shadows and shadow play here, but it it was the silhouette, the shadow that stopped you, that felt like the wall. There's nothing in front of you, but you notice that you feel this wall right when your shadow, or your sorry, right when your person hits that shadow.
Okay, but I'm still getting the ping from the sword to tell me to go forward, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna spend so much time on this. I try a running start, see if I can get past whatever this is.
As
Ain't
you're
broke.
nearing the as you're nearing the exit, this time you do see the two lampposts at the end flicker, turn off right as you get there, and you slam into a wall.
All right.
And for now, that is where we'll actually end.
Yeah.
And for the night, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just because I last week was awful. I'm sorry, and I also know that I also feel bad keeping Mercy up so late.
No. I'm fine. Since the school year's ended, I do not have to get up really at any
Oh,
particular time at the moment. Yeah, we're okay at the moment. But if you want to
well,
end here, that's
That's
fine.
awesome.
yeah, I'll end here for now, but I'll keep that in mind for next week. Yeah, the battle's gonna take a bit, so that's why I wanted to end here.
Hey,
Yeah.
that makes total
Just
sense.
just getting to the battle is going to take a bit. One of us wants to figure out the puzzle, even though we're told not to. One of us is just a random wanderer. The other one's just mining for information.
I also find it interesting that now Sid is being arguably the most best behaved one. He's the one not trying to break out at the moment. Because I think his assessment is that they're just going to have a hard time if they try and do that. And it might be simplest to just try and go along with it, which might mean that they have to fight. We'll see.
I'm assuming that's what it means. I'm just trying to see how much I can tweak like the story. Because if I can't find Mercy, I'm either going to try and either talk her into seeing how much she can mess with her army, or see if I can get her to go in on a kidnapping situation where like we just leave a note and try to leave and see how that messes with the world.
Okay, I just thought of something else that I wanted to do.